everyone, my name is Christina and today on Kit Guru we are looking at the gaming keyboard by HyperX. This is the Alloy Elite 2. See what this company has to offer. This is coming in at a reasonable but not cheap $139.99 in the UK at the moment. Also, before we get started, if you'd like to make sure that you get your tech fix, then make sure you subscribe, check out our website kitguru.net, and also if you want to show people just how much you know about tech whilst showing off your great sense of humour, make sure you check out our merch. As they say, the show must go on, so starting with the packaging, there is the usual cardboard box with some nice visuals of the item on the front, as well as a brief but eye-catching description of some of the key features. On the back we can see some more key features as well as the guarantee and the multilingual descriptions. Inside we're greeted immediately with the keyboard itself and not much else. Okay, so my first impressions of the keyboard when I see it is that it's pretty heavy, 1.5 kilos. This is more than likely down to the steel frame. I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing in my opinion, as I quite like things that are heavy. It always gives me the impression that there's quality behind the item. The cable is also super chonky, and that is my favourite word at the moment, chonky. A really nice sturdy braid that splits into a double USB end. Now this could be conceived as a con because it takes up 2 USBs, but there is a pass-through, so don't worry too much. You're not losing that USB slot as such, so it is really a preference thing whether you prefer that or not. Now, the keyboard itself looks really unique. The pudding keycaps really do look like some sort of Japanese pudding or sweet, especially when you light up the RGB. All those colours really look great through those half white, half black keys. It really illuminates the entire keyboard along the RGB bar as well towards the back of the keyboard, and it creates a consistent and satisfying lighting effect. The underneath is also very tidy, looks great, no mess, and it has nice little pop-out feet. With the weight, slippage isn't really a thing, but they did include rubber pads on the top and bottom of the keyboard on the back here, as well as on those flip-out feet. So it looks pretty good, but how does it feel? The keys are really slippery. I'm not gonna lie to you right now, I found that I was mistyping a little bit because of this. This could have been down to the fact that it is a slightly different layout to my own keyboard, but the slipperiness really didn't help with that. They are also really bad for attracting grease, and that makes me quite sad. The key presses are almost silent though. There isn't really much tactile feedback from these little fellas, but they are red linear switches, and if you like that type of switch, then this is exactly the keyboard for you. Me personally, I like a clickier switch like a blue or a brown switch type. Let's talk about connectivity. So the Alloy Elite 2 works with a PC, but it also works with Xbox and PS4. So no more typing along those huge messages out on your controller to your friends and wishing there was some other way that you could get around this, because the HyperX has got you covered. Now, we briefly mentioned that built-in solid steel frame, but this really does make the thing feel almost indestructible, but it also makes it pretty heavy. Does that matter? I mean, not really, because once it's on your desk, I doubt you'll be moving it about. Obviously, this would not be a choice for someone that moves around or travels and takes it with them, but for the average user, it'll be absolutely fine. You're not moving it around and you're going to benefit from that rigidity. There's 100% anti-ghosting and full N-key rollover. This is a really great feature, but I wouldn't say that it is a unique selling point nowadays. It is something that I would almost expect in a keyboard with this price range. That pass-through though is really good. I will give you that, HyperX Alloy Elite 2. It is really useful, and if you don't have a long lead for something, or your computer is in a place that makes it hard for you to put the USB stick in, for instance, this is a great option. I also like the volume scroll wheel and the fact that along the top there are some really useful media keys and functions. I like the fact that they've kept this separate for ease of use and to prevent accidental pressing. There are also 3 buttons on the left hand side that control the RGB brightness, presets, and the third is a gaming mode key. That locks the Windows key. I know I mentioned about the RGB earlier, but when you set the brightness to the highest, it's really, really bright. I mean, we have some top top end keyboards here, and I don't think that they are this bright. It's absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so they're the key features. Let's talk about the software, Ngenuity. You can see that when you open the software, you end up on the lights tab. You can see this is where you can change the effects. You can make selections to change some lights or all of the lights, and you can change opacity, color, speed, for example. And if you click on the brightness tab, you can change your brightness up and down. If you click game mode, you can turn the game mode on or off, and you can also block other keys that you don't want to engage when gaming. If we click on presets, you can see that there are 2 saved presets here already and a base setting. You can add, duplicate, export other presets, or you can just delete them entirely. There are some other settings that you can access down in the left-hand corner by clicking on the little cog here. So let's talk about gaming on this keyboard. Now, I did mention that I was slipping off of the keys because they are rather slippery. This did translate into gaming as well. I did find that WSA and D were a little bit slippery, and it doesn't help when you're concentrating on FPS games, for example, where you haven't really got time to mess up on those. So it is a bit of a pain. I mean, those of you that are used to a more shiny texture, and obviously this is a different layout to my own keyboard, you guys may find it fine, but for me it was just that little bit too slippery. So let's run through some pros and cons. The pros, I'd say, is definitely the pass-through. That's pretty handy. The sturdy chunky cable. The pudding keys are really nice. The RGB is super bright. The media keys and the scroll wheel is really handy, really neat and tidy, and massively useful. Super rugged metal frame with hardly any flex at all is obviously a nice bonus too. And of course, being able to use it on consoles. So let's have a look at the cons here. So some people might see the fact that the lead is non-removable as a con, but there is that trade-off. You know, we kind of have the pass-through. It's up to you. I'll let you make your decision on that one. The weight is obviously something to consider here, but really, are you going to notice when it's on your desk? Your desk might notice it's a bit heavier, but you're not going to. So I'll let you guys decide on that one too. It is a bit of a grease magnet, and those shiny keys are really slippery. And the only thing I can think is a little bit of a con is the price. It is pretty pricey. So what do you guys think of the HyperX Alloy Elite? I personally think that there are keyboards out there that I would kind of go for in this price range other than this one. But if you're looking for RGB and something that is really sturdy, this is a great buy, I can't deny it. The HyperX Alloy Elite delivers the key specs needed for gaming, and it handles itself pretty well in pretty much all situations. I really like the unique pudding keys, and it is really easy to use. This would be a reasonable upgrade as an introduction to mid or high range keyboards. Let us know your comments and opinions down in the comments section. My name's Christina, this is the one and only Kit Guru. Make sure you're here for the next video. Take care.